Hello, my name is Lucas. I am the founder of Data Marketing School. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to do scroll tracking with Google Analytics and Google Tag Manager. In this tutorial, I will assume that you've already connected GA4 with Google Tag Manager, so that you have a GA4 property, you have a Google Tag Manager container installed on your website, and inside Google Tag Manager, you did connect GA4 with this tag at least. You may also have some events already configured. I do have a long page with a lot of text, and I also have a short page here just to show you what we're going to be working with. So the first thing you need to understand about scroll depth is that inside GA4 you have an automatic event which is called scroll, which is part of GA enhanced measurement. If you are a technical marketer, web analyst, data engineer, or media buyer, you know how fast this space is moving. That's why I created a community called Data Marketing School, where we share tips, solve real problems, and stay ahead together. It's just practical insights and real conversations. So if you're interested, feel free to join us. The link is just below this video. So if you go to admin here, and if you go to data streams inside GA4, you can click on your data stream, and here you can see enhanced measurement. And if you click on the gear icon here, you can see here that the scrolls is enabled, which is enabled by default. Basically, here you can see that I don't have anything related to scroll inside my data layer. And if I scroll to the bottom of the page, you can see here scroll event was triggered and the threshold is 90. This is basically because I reached at least 90% of the page. That is why a scroll event is sent to GA4 with a specific parameter which is percent scrolled, which you can see here, set to 90. And with this default behavior, you don't have any control over this tracking, so you can't tell GA4 to track other thresholds, for example 25, 50, 75%, and this is what we're going to be doing in this video. The first thing you can do is to uncheck this in order to disable the automatic behavior, which we're going to reproduce manually inside GTM to have full control over it. Click save, and then you can reload your page. Try to scroll to the bottom. And here you can see that you no longer have scroll events. Now, what you need to do inside GTM to manually track scroll depth and customize your thresholds, you can go to variables first, and we're going to enable built-in variables related to scroll. So scroll down to the scrolling section here, and you can check all of them. And then inside triggers, you can create a new trigger, which is going to be the scroll depth trigger. Here you can check vertical scroll depth, and here you can enter, for example, 25, 50, 75, and 90, and you can save. Just name this scroll depth. You can enter, if you want, the thresholds you've configured, and click save. With this trigger in place, let's see what happens on a long page. So I scroll a little bit. I can see here that a first scroll depth event was triggered, and here the threshold is 25. If I continue scrolling, so here I reached 50%, and let's scroll to the bottom. Here you can see that two other events were triggered, the 75% and the 90%. Okay, so it's working properly. Now I'm going to show you the behavior of this trigger when it's on a short page. So instead of loading the long page, I'm going to load the short page. And what you can see here on the short page is that the four thresholds are triggered on the page load. So here you have the 25, 50, 75, and 90. This happens because you already are at the bottom of the page on a short page when it's loaded. Okay, so this is not a behavior that you want because it may pollute your data inside GA4 and show you user engagement that did not really happen because on the page load, the user is already at the bottom of the page. What you can do inside GTM is to create a variable that will contain the height of the page. And we're going to add a condition to this trigger to check that the page has a minimum height before sending these events. Go to variables, create a new variable, which is going to be a custom JavaScript variable. And then you can go to the blog post below this video and click on create a scroll trigger, and then scroll down to the custom JavaScript variable here, copy this code, paste it here, and you can name it CJS scroll 8. Save. Then inside your trigger, you can add a condition. So click some pages and select your custom JS variable, select greater than, and let's enter 3000, for example. Click save. We're going to test this. So I'm going to open the preview again. The long page did load, so you can check under variables what is the scroll height. So this page is almost 7000 pixels long. Let's do the same thing on the short page. So this page is only 1400 long. So since it's too short, the scroll depth won't be triggered on this page. Everything is configured properly inside the trigger, and you can adjust if you want the minimum scroll height that will trigger scroll events. And here inside your tags, you can create a new tag, which is going to be a GA4 event tag. Paste your measurement ID, and here you can name this scroll. You can add event parameters, and we're going to add the percent scrolled event parameter, which is recognized here as a value. We're going to enter scroll depth threshold. You can trigger this on the scroll depth trigger we just created and name this GA4-event-scroll. Click save, open the preview again. So here I am on the long page. So let's scroll a little bit. So here you can see that GA4 event scroll tag has been triggered and that it's sent. So here there is a bug, so I have got unknown tag type, so I'm going to switch to the GTag view here and click on the scroll event, and here you can see that the event was correctly sent to GA4 with the parameter which is percent scrolled to 25. And if I scroll a bit more, you can see here that the 50% threshold has been sent to GA4 as well. Let's try on the short page. So you can see here that inside the data layer, I still have the scroll depth events, but these events don't trigger any scroll events to GA4. So it doesn't trigger the GA4 scroll event tag. And this is exactly what I want. And inside your GA4 property, you can go to admin here and then select DebugView, and you can check here that you did receive your scroll events, and if you click on one of them you can check that the percent scrolled parameter is correctly received as well. So I did set up this on my website, and I'm going to show you how you can visualize this scroll data inside a GA4 exploration. So you can go to Explore here on the left menu and then create a new exploration from a blank template. Here you can add some dimensions. The first one is going to be event name. We're going to add as well percent scrolled, and we're going to add the page title, and then we're going to confirm. And as metrics, we're going to add total users, and I'm going to add as well event count, confirm. And here as rows, I'm going to add the page title. I'm going to add as values event count and total users. Then as columns, I'm going to add percent scrolled. As a filter, I'm going to add a filter on the event name exactly matches scroll. Apply. You can see all my page titles from my blog posts, and you can see the different scroll depth. So let's just remove total users for now to make it cleaner. So here you can see, based on the page title, this blog post about Microsoft Ads has the more people going to the end of the page. So this way you can quickly visualize your content that is getting more engagement.